STIHL outdoor power equipment this fall at Acme Tools. Right now, save $50 on the MS250 18-inch gas chainsaw, built for tough tasks and reliable performance. Plus, save up to $50 on a new STIHL backpack blower or blower back and leave the raking up to the neighbors. And the expert service technicians at Acme Tools can get your hard-to-start power equipment tuned up and ready for those fall projects. Find your STIHL this fall at Acme Tools or online at acmetools.com.
At American State Bank and Trust Company, we want you to bank your way, whether that's on the go or at home. We make your life easier with online and mobile banking, bill pay, remote deposit, electronic payments, and more. Free, convenient, secure services, all available to you. Banking should happen on your time, wherever you are and whenever you need it. Go beyond with American State Bank and Trust Company. Stop in or visit asbt.com to enjoy a better digital banking experience. Member FDIC.
WCCU is your local credit union, which means they're a not-for-profit financial institution owned by you. WCCU has been serving Williston for many years and is proud of the difference they have made in the community. They are there when you need them, from home, agriculture, and auto loans to checking and saving accounts. If you sign up for a Kasasa checking account with WCCU, you'll get more than just free checking. You choose your checking account and get your choice of rewards like nationwide ATM refunds and a really high interest rate. You can also earn cash back on debit card purchases and earn iTunes, Google Play, and Amazon rewards. So join the herd at WCCU.org.
Hey there, sports fans. Mike Ruder coming to you from the Well in Williston, 4 minutes away before we get under for the next edition of Teton Basketball, exclusively here all season long on the Williston State College YouTube channel. Tetons up tonight are against NDSCS and the Wildcats. Tetons currently on top of the heap in the Mondac Conference, technically tied with Bismarck State College, who had an overtime thriller last night against United Tribes. But with the Tetons having the season sweep over Bismarck, they do hold the tiebreaker. And Williston does have a half-game lead over both NDSCS and Lake Region State, who both come in at 7-3 in the conference standings. It should be a fantastic one. These two rivals always leave it all out on the floor when they get after it. Taking a look at Science, what they're bringing to the table here in this one. We'll take a look at their individual scoring leaders first. They're led by Maggie Wrestling. She's the top scorer in the Mondac Conference. Wrestling averages 20 points per game. Debbie Van Gils with 10.9 points per game is the only two double-digit scores on the floor at any given time for Science and the Wildcats. Taking a peek at some of the team stats for NDSCS, they are shooting 39% from the field in conference play, just 26% from deep, and 63% from the charity stripe. They're pulling down 45 rebounds per game, and they're a plus 3.5 in the rebound margin, 12.8 rebounds or assists per game, 15.5 turnovers, and they are getting a monstrous 9.6 steals to go along with their 15.9 fouls per game. Looking overall at what they average, 74 points per game throughout their 24 games played throughout the season. Here with a couple minutes left to go, we'll take a look at the Teton women's side of things, starting off with their overall stats. They come in with a 21-4 overall record on the season, as we mentioned earlier, 7-2 in conference play. The Tetons from the floor are shooting just shy of 50% at 49.1, 22% from, or 31% from beyond the arc, making 7 of 22 per game, and from the stripe they're hitting 74%. Williston State is averaging 43 rebounds per game. They're allowing 35 rebounds per game, so they have a plus 7.5 in the rebound margin, 22.5 assists per contest, 14 turnovers, 10 steals, and they are committing 13.8 personal fouls per game, so a very efficient Teton squad. Taking a look at what they're averaging per game, the Tetons are averaging 85 points per game. They scored 90 last night in a 90-60 win over Lake Region State College. So the Tetons are a plus 11 in their scoring, coming up against this Wildcat squad of NDSCS. Featured matchup to watch will be down low. It'll be against Maggie Wrestling for NDSCS, taking on Williston State's Allison Coonsey. We may see some of the bigs for the Tetons that haven't got a lot of runs against some of the smaller teams. So we may see Jennifer Keeksta as well as Gray coming into the game for Williston State. So we'll have to see what Coach Triplett decides to put on the court. Getting ready for now the pregame announcements. Both teams are lined up for the national anthem. We're going to step away for a quick break while they have the national anthem. We'll be back after this.
WCCU is your local credit union, which means they're a not-for-profit financial institution owned by you. WCCU has been serving Williston for many years and is proud of the difference they have made in the community. They are there when you need them, from home, agriculture, and auto loans to checking and saving accounts. If you sign up for a Casasa checking account with WCCU, you'll get more than just free checking. You choose your checking account and get your choice of rewards like nationwide ATM refunds and a really high interest rate. You can also earn cash back on debit card purchases and earn iTunes, Google Play, and Amazon rewards. So join the herd at WCCU.org.
Looking for reliable professional services for your business? Look no further than One Core Services. They specialize in optimizing operations, enhancing productivity, and ensuring safety across all facets of your business. Whether you need high-pressure pumps, hydrochloric acid, or bulk chemicals, we've got you covered. One Core Services tailor solutions to fit your unique needs, helping you save time and money. Ready to take your production to the next level? Call us today at 701-774-1105. One Core Services, LLC, your trusted partner for success in the oil and gas industry.
Red Rock Ford is a proud supporter of Williston State College Teton Athletics and our community. At Red Rock, we encourage you to get behind our athletes, schools, and local community. Let's support our friends and neighbors as we work together to make our city a great place to live and raise our families. And when it comes time for your next vehicle purchase, see us at Red Rock Ford, where a portion of every dollar spent goes right back into the community you know and love. That's Red Rock Ford, your hometown Ford store, proudly supporting Teton Athletics.
Mike, we're back here. Time now for the starting lineup, starting off with NDSCS and the Wildcats. They'll be coming out first with number 1, McKenna Cuomo, a 5'9" sophomore guard from Wapaton. Number 3, Demi Van Gils, a 5'10" sophomore forward from Amsterdam, the Netherlands. Number 5, Peyton Getty. Getty is a 5'3" freshman guard from Kindred, North Dakota. Number 21, Ava Boys, a 6-foot freshman forward from Canberra. And then rounding out the starting lineups is going to be number 33, Maggie Wrestling, a 5'10" freshman center from Malacca, Minnesota. Tetons now coming out with their starting 5 on the scoreboard. Coming out first for Williston State is going to be one of the starting freshmen for Williston State. It will be number 4, Kylie Simpson, a 5'9" freshman guard from Ponto, North Dakota. Followed up by a sophomore forward from Malta, Montana at 5'10", number 5, Allison Coonsey. Number 13, a 5'9" freshman guard from Tarragona, Australia, Taylor Murtaugh. Number 15, a 5'9" sophomore guard from Martin, Australia, Ali Garcia. And number 21, a 5'11" freshman forward from Bismarck, North Dakota, Jersey Bird. Both teams now getting ready for the jump. It'll be Berg going up against Wrestling. And we're set to go. Ball's up in the air. It'll be taken away by Berg. A race for it. It's going to be taken by Gillis, and Gillis will easily put it up in the basket, so she got it in a great position. Tetons a little out of sorts there on the tip-off. It'll be a 2-0 game. NDSCS. Here comes Simpson on a drive. She'll get to the cup and put it up and in. Kylie Simpson answers right back. We're all knotted up at 2 on the American State Bank scoreboard. Gills has it on the far wing. Looking down low for Wrestling. Nothing there. Up on top to Kumo. Kumo gets a Wrestling on the high post. Swing pass. It'll go in the corner to Getty. Getty back out now to Boyce. Up on top to Kumo. Looking to drive on Simpson. There's going to be a foul called on Simpson. It'll be a first personal, first team on the Tetons here with 9:25 left to go in the first quarter. Getty set to inbound from underneath her own basket. They're going to get it up into the paint to Wrestling, loses the handle. Wrestling will be guarded by Berg. Now Kumo driving. She's going to put it up and in. McKenna Kumo with 2. And the Wildcats take an early lead, 4-2. Simpson pushes it back up. She'll hand it off to Berg. Picks up a Kunze screen. Pick and roll. Nothing there. Out to Garcia. Garcia with a foot fake. Puts it on there. Gets Van Giles in the spinner. Out onto Murtaugh. Murtaugh hits the 3 from the corner. Wilson State up by 1. 5-4. Back up the court comes the Wildcats. Getty has it. Gets it over to Van Gils. Van Gils holding, waiting. Up on top, it'll go to Boyes. Boyes holding. She's looking to drive on Berg. Gets a step and going to lay it up. No good. Tipped around. Wrestling comes down with the rebound. She puts it up again. No good. Loose ball into the hands of Getty. Getty's going to put it up. That's no good. It'll be tipped out of bounds. It'll go back to the Tetons here with 8:36 left to go. So second and third chances going to the Wildcats there. That possession, something that the Tetons are going to want to clean up. And Coach Triplett giving some instructions to Berg as she gets ready to inbound the ball to Simpson. Back comes Kylie up the court, the freshman point guard, looking to set things up for Williston State. Kunze up on top, over to Berg on the far wing. Kunze setting the screen, loses a handle. She'll pick it back up and hands off to Garcia. Garcia, guarded by Van Giles, now to Murtaugh. Crossing over, gets a step, going to push it out. Simpson picks it up on the wing, crossing over, 10 on the shot clock. The missed a kick ball underneath. Kumo trying to come free, and she does. Looking for a long pass out to Van Gils. Van Gils driving baseline, crosses over, step back baseline jumper, up, no good. Offensive rebound again by Boyes, that's no good. Wrestling gets it back, that's no good again. Kunze will pull it down. At least 5 offensive rebounds so far for the Wildcats in the first 2 minutes of play. Tetons still have a 1-point lead, 5-4. Simpson coming around a double high screen, looking to get it back. That's going to be intercepted by Kumo, off to the races. Kumo's going to be up, and that's no good. Pulled down by Simpson. She gets hammered from behind, and they're going to say just knocked out of bounds. Coach Triplett saying, hey, where was the contact on the foul? Or foul on the contact there as the Tetons again take back over, still up by 1. Simpson has it on the far wing, gets it over now to Murtaugh. Murtaugh, another 3, and that one's going to be off the back of the iron. No good. Pulled down by Wrestling. Push it up is Boyes. Crossing over, dribbling, gets into the body of Murtaugh. Finger roll up and good. Ava Boyes with her first bucket of the game. Wildcats up by 1, 6-5. Simpson back up the court for Williston State. Bounce pass to Kuzi on top of the perimeter. Backing down on Simpson, steps through, or on Wrestling, steps through, and Kunze gets her first bucket of the game. Williston State back up by 1. Back and forth we go through the early minutes of the first quarter. 7 minutes and counting as Getty crosses the timeline. Over to Kumo on the near wing, looking underneath for Wrestling. Back up on top to Van Gils. Into the corner to Boyes, down underneath to Wrestling. Out it goes on the wing to Getty for 3. That's going to be in. Good ball movement, and Getty knocks down a 3-pointer to put the Wildcats up by a bucket, 9-7. Simpson slowing things down, calling out the offense. Gets it over, just about a steal again. Murtaugh's going to drive, goes for the mid-range floater, up, and it'll drop in there for Murtaugh. She has 5 points for the Tetons, who knot it back up at 9. Getty again marching up. She'll get it into the corner to Boyes. Boyes drives, kicks it out on top to Van Gils. Van Gils driving, turned away by Garcia, crossing over, kicks it up to Boyes on the wing. Underneath the Wrestling, it's going to be out of bounds. Turnover on the Wildcats. That'll give it back to Williston State. The Tetons looking to reclaim the lead. Knotted up at 9 apiece. Berg set to impound the ball to Simpson. 1 foul apiece. No fouls on the Wildcats so far. Scoreboard has 1 foul on them. Garcia up on top to Kunze. Back to Garcia. Berg gets it. She's going to be out of bounds. No, they're going to call a foul this time on Boyes. So that looked like a clean play on the Wildcats, and it'll result in a foul on NDSCS with the Tetons keeping possession. So it is a second-team foul. We'll have to... Wasn't quite sure where the other one came up. We'll have to wait to see. Here at the halftime break, Berg now gets it in the corner. Backing down on Boyes. Has Kunze underneath. Berg going to be cut off. Kunze gets it in the mid-post region. Turn around, and she's going to be up. No good. Wrestling with good defense on the play. Boyes pushing up the court. She'll hand it off behind her to Getty. Getty approaches the top of the perimeter, closing in on 5.5 left in the first. Wrestling down the low post. She's going to put it up, and that'll be up and in. Maggie Wrestling, who averages 20 per game, puts Williston State up by, or puts NDSCS up by 2. Simpson up on top to Garcia, way downtown for Garcia. That one is going to be in. Allie Garcia with her first bucket. The Tetons back up by 1, 12-11. Again up the court comes Getty. She'll approach the top of the perimeter. It's going to hand it off to Van Gils. Turns the corner, cut off. Contested shot, and it's going to be they're going to call a foul on the shot on Garcia. That'll be Garcia's first personal. Second team foul, and a couple of subs had to come into the game for Science. We'll have Boyes checking out of the game, with Ezra Baker coming in, and also Kumo checking out of the game. At the line is Van Gils, 4-2. First one is going to be up and good. She'll have one more coming with that first free throw. She tied the game up at 12 apiece. Second of 2 on the way from Van Gils. That one will be good as well. Perfect 2-2 to put Science back up by a single point. Up the court comes Simpson. Screams down the sideline. She's going to get into the near wing. Picks up her dribble, looking for help. Up on top, it'll go to Berg. Looking underneath for Coonsey. Coonsey battling with Wrestling down underneath. Garcia looking to drive. She's going to be cut off. Checking effort. Bounce pass underneath to Coonsey. Go through traffic. Up and in. Coonsey with 2 more. She has 4 in the game. Back up the court now come the Wildcats. Looking to see if they can't take the lead one more time. A drive from Getty will get it off on the perimeter. Here comes a wild shot up, no good. Pulled down by Coonsey. She's going to have it stripped, but it's picked up by Simpson. Races up the court. Markle there on the good defense. Out of the wing, it'll go to Berg. Cross court to Garcia. Up on top to Murtaugh. Looking underneath for Coonsey. And she's going to have it intercepted by Baker, who slipped in front of Coonsey. Baker now on the drive underneath to Wrestling, who puts it up, no good. Offensive rebound tipped out to Markle. Mid-range jumper. That's up, no good. Tipped out of bounds by Simpson. It'll stay with Science here with 4:13 left to go in the first half. And we have our first media timeout of the game. Tetons holding on to a 1-point 14-13 lead. We'll be back for more Teton basketball right here on YouTube in 1 minute.
Legacy. It begins the moment we born, growing with every step as we journey through life. It lives in the relationships we build along the way and in those we love. At First International Bank and Trust, our legacy is you. In every stage of life, we walk with you, making sure you get to where you're going and protecting your legacy for generations to come. First International Bank and Trust, helping you live first. Member FDIC, Equal Housing Lender.
For more than 70 years, Expanse Electrical Company has delivered market-leading electrical, power, and automation expertise. Built upon a legacy of technology, quality, and craftsmanship. They are confident that they have the best team in the industry and local community serving. Proud member of the Williston community, Expanse continually works to build a better future for their company, their craftsmen, and their customers. They pride themselves on having one of the most efficient teams of directly employed licensed electricians and automation engineers in the industry. Interested in powering up your career? Visit expanseelectrical.com/careers to learn about their openings in the North Dakota region.
Mike back here for Teton basketball. Van Gils gets a jumping pass, and she's going to put it up and in for 2 points to give the Wildcats the lead, now 15-14. Berg brings the ball across the timeline, hands it off to Murtaugh, picks up a screen from Coonsey, out to Garcia, who drives, pulls up the mid-range jumper, in it goes. Allie Garcia now with 5 points in the game. Tetons up by a point, continue to go back and forth. Getty again up the court for the Wildcats. Swings the ball over to Baker on the near wing. Back up on top to Van Gils. Long it'll go to Markle. Good ball movement by the Wildcats around the perimeter. Van Gils with a quick shot off the back of the iron. No good. It'll be saved by Garcia from going out of bounds. She runs into the referee and hustles back down the floor as Murtaugh comes down the court with the ball. Now off to Simpson. Tetons set it up in their half court. See if they can extend their 1-point lead. Get it to Coonsey in the mid-paint area. Crossing over, stepping through on Wrestling. Lots of contact again, but Coonsey's able to get it up that time. Tetons up by 3, their largest lead of the game, as they look to try and get some defensive stops. Williston State now in a 2-3 zone. Getty has it, swings it over to Van Gils. Mid-post area to Baker. Baker loses the ball to Wrestling, and it's going to go out of bounds. Another turnover on the Wildcats. Coach Triplett still pushing his team to get some good defensive pressure, as Van Gils will check out of the game for Science, and Lolo Carlo comes in for the first time. Back up the court comes Kylie Simpson for Williston State, looking to push out their 3-point lead, 18-15 on the American State Bank scoreboard. Berg, backdoor pass to Murtaugh. What a dime by Berg, no good. Then we put back up by Coonsey, that's no good. Another offensive rebound. Murtaugh back out to Garcia from way downtown, off the mark, no good. This time it'll be pulled down by Carlo. So Tetons had some great opportunities there to push it out to a 5-point lead. Carlo coming to the top of the paint. She'll kick it over to Markle. Markle, one dribble. Now over to Getty on the far wing. Back up on top to Carlo. Gives it back to Markle again, who's going to fire that one. Just too hard, no good. Murtaugh pulls it down. She'll have to peel away from a couple of defenders. Kicks it up to Garcia. Didn't have a dribble, who will give it right back. 2:15 left to go. Murtaugh over to Simpson for three. Got it to go. Kylie Simpson, who has 5 in the game, hit the third three-pointer of the quarter. 21-15. Tetons up by 6. Back up the court now comes Getty and the Wildcats. Tetons again sinking down to their 2-3. Over to Carlo on the far wing. Up on top to Markle. Swing it over into Getty on the near wing. Back to Markle again to Carlo. Carlo. Jump fake by Garcia. High post now to Baker. Looking underneath for Wrestling. Stolen by Garcia. Has Murtaugh ahead. Murtaugh catches it in motion and puts it up and in. Taylor Murtaugh with 7, and there's going to be a timeout on the court called by Science. Couple of subs coming back into the game with 1:40 left to go. It's a short timeout. We'll take a short one ourselves. Back in 30 seconds.
You work hard. You deserve a space that's truly yours. Whether it's upgrading your current home or stepping into something brand new, American State Bank and Trust Company is here to make your dreams a reality.
This is Megan Winker, Assistant Vice President and Real Estate Loan Manager at American State Bank and Trust Company. Our lending team is committed to offering tailored loan options and expert guidance because you deserve nothing but the best. Visit with Heather Ryder or me and go beyond towards the home of your dreams.
Stop in or visit asbt.com today. Equal housing lender, member FDIC.
Mike, we're back here for Teton basketball exclusively on the Williston State College YouTube page. Back in the game is Coolmo and Boyas, as Coach Friskoff did not like some of the play he got on the court. He made a couple of quick subs. Now it'll be Science ball. Tetons up by 8, 23-15. Just over a buck and a half left to go in the quarter. Up the court comes the Wildcats. Kumo on the wing. They're going to swing it out on the perimeter. Still working the ball around. Carlo has it up on top. Into the corner it'll go. Boyas back to Carlo. Back to Boyas. She's going to take a contested three. That one's going to be off the side of the rim. No good. Garcia pulls it down. Off to Murtaugh, who pushes the issues. Now to Berg. Berg in the paint. Underneath to Coonsey. And he's going to be stealing away from Wrestling. Takes a big shot behind. No foul call again. And Coonsey puts it up and in. Coonsey got a big shiver from behind by Wrestling, but was able to keep her footing and put it up. 1 minute left to go. Tetons up by 10. 25-15. Kumo up on top to Getty. Getty kicks it over to Carlo. They'll look to try and see if they can't get it down to Wrestling. Now Kumo with a wing three. That's no good. Again pulled down by Garcia. 3-on-1 pushing the corner of the Tetons. Garcia pulls up from the elbow. Got it to go. Ali Garcia now with 9 points in the game. Tetons up by a dozen. 35 seconds left to go in the quarter. 25 on the shot clock. It'll be poked away by Murtaugh, but it'll be picked up by Boyas. Long pass over to Carlo in the wing for a corner three. That's in and out, no good. Garcia with another rebound. Gets it off to Murtaugh. Tetons pushing the issue. Shot clock is off. 20 seconds left to go in the quarter. Murtaugh hands it off to Garcia. Slowing things down. Tetons holding for the last shot. Now Simpson up on top. She'll circle it back out. 10 left to go. They'll trigger with about 8 left. Here comes Simpson. Kicks, drives over to Murtaugh for a corner three. Got it to go. Taylor Murtaugh from way down under to way downtown. And the Tetons up by 15 at the break of the first quarter. Big time quarter for the Tetons after a slow start. We're going to take a 1 minute timeout. When we come back, we'll have the start of quarter number 2 here from the Well in Williston.
Red Rock Ford is a proud supporter of Williston State College Teton Athletics and our community. At Red Rock, we encourage you to get behind our athletes, schools, and local community. Let's support our friends and neighbors as we work together to make our city a great place to live and raise our families. And when it comes time for your next vehicle purchase, see us at Red Rock Ford, where a portion of every dollar spent goes right back into the community you know and love. That's Red Rock Ford, your hometown Ford store, proudly supporting Teton Athletics.
Save on Steel outdoor power equipment this fall at Acme Tools. Right now, save $50 on the MS250 18-inch gas chainsaw, built for tough tasks and reliable performance. Plus, save up to $50 on a new Steel backpack blower or blower vac and leave the raking up to the neighbors. And the expert service technicians at Acme Tools can get your hard-to-start power equipment tuned up and ready for those fall projects. Find your Steel this fall at Acme Tools or online at acmetools.com.
Mike, we're back here for Teton basketball on 660 Keys News Radio. Teton's up by 15 points, 30-15 after a flurry down the stretch in quarter number one. Williston State starts the second quarter with the ball. Garcia has it up on top. Screen from Berg. A switch on to Boyes. Garcia just about loses the handle. Gets it to Kunze. Takes one dribble now over to Murtaugh. Murtaugh with another three on the way. Got it to go. Taylor with 15 points so far. She has matched what the Wildcats have done in 10.5 minutes. Now in DCS. Back up the court, looking to see if they can't get something started. Three-pointer from Van Gils. That's no good. Pulled down by Kunze. She's going to wrestle through a couple of defenders. Gets it off to Garcia. Pushes up the court. Garcia, she's going to go from way downtown. In and out, no good. And a rebound comes to Boyes. He checked there for the Tetons as they still lead by 18 points. Back up the court comes Getty. Swings it over to Van Gils on the far wing, who checked back into the game for Carlo at the quarter break. Low post underneath to Wrestling. Wrestling hard off the backboard, no good. Be pulled down by Kunze. She's going to run the court up for Williston State. She's going to second effort now, back away. Look to get it off to Berg on top of the perimeter. Berg backing down, and there's going to be a tall pass. It's going to be touched out of bounds, deflected by Van Gils. Be an inbound play again for Williston State. They'll have 19 on the shot clock. They're trying to take advantage of Kunze, who had the mismatch underneath on Getty. Inbound play. Murtaugh lost a man in transition. There's going to be a foul called on Science. A little too hard of a defense on the inbounding play, trying to corral Murtaugh. That foul's going to go on Boyes. First team of the quarter, second personal on Boyes. Here with 8:47 left to go. Inbound pass goes to Berg. She'll hand it off to Simpson. Comes around her double high screen. Simpson for three from range. Got it to go! Kylie Simpson. Tetons firing on all cylinders. 21-point lead. Here with 8:36 left to go in the second quarter. Up the court now comes Getty. Crosses the timeline. 8.5 in the first. Over on the wing to Van Gils. Back up to Getty. She's going to cross over, look to drive baseline. Cut off by Murtaugh. Van Gils over to Kuhlmo, looking to get it underneath. Bobbled and lost out of bounds by Boyes. Turnover going back to Williston State. Chance to push the lead out even further. 8:18 left to go. Clock momentarily stopped. Berg set to get the ball into Simpson. Kylie now will march the ball up the court for Williston State and the Tetons. Murtaugh coming to pick up the ball on top of the perimeter. She'll hold on, wait, surveying over to Garcia on the wing. Blows by Kuhlmo. Kuhlmo reached out and grabbed her. Garcia driving, swing pass into the corner to Berg. Up on top, it'll go to Murtaugh. Looking for Kunze on the high post. Can't find her, now to Simpson. To the elbow, throws one up. That's going to be blocked. Simpson got bumped on the throw. Long pass out to Boyes, and it's a little too long and firm of a pass. And it'll go out of bounds back to the Tetons. Here was 7:52 left to go. Coach Triblett calling out a play for his squad as they come back down the court. This time Murtaugh will take the point for Williston State. Up to the top of the perimeter, gets it off to Kunze. Looking for a curl underneath, nothing there. Berg on top of the perimeter. Murtaugh comes and picks it up from Berg. Over to Kunze on the wing. Kunze looking to drive on Wrestling. Stopped in the paint. Turn around. Mid-range jumper up and good. Kunze with 10 points in the game. Tetons up 38-15 on the American State Bank scoreboard. Back up comes Getty and the Wildcats. Swing pass over to Van Gils on the near wing. Tetons 2-3 zone has caused havoc Getty over to Kumo. Double teaming, wrestling down in the low post. Kumo with a swing pass into the corner. Van Gils couldn't handle it. She's going to look to take off to drive. Kicks it off to Getty up on top. Three-pointer on the way. Off the back of the iron. Wrestling will come down with it. Blocked by Garcia into the hands of Kunze. Allie Garcia so good as a guard. Getting up and blocking. Now over to Simpson. Simpson puts it on the deck, drives, bounce pass underneath to Kunze, and she's going to be hammered by Maggie Wrestling. That'll be her first personal, second team foul here in the second quarter. 6:54 left to go in the half, and that'll send Allison Kunze to the stripe for a pair of free throws. So Kunze at the line for the first free throws of the game. First one on the way is going to be off the back of the iron, no good. She'll have one more coming. Here to start this second quarter, Tetons on an 8-0 run. Next one on the way from Kunze. That one is up and good. So the sophomore from Malta, Montana, now with 11 points. And the Wildcats down 39-15. 6:50 left to go. Van Gils gets it into the mid-post to Boyes. Looking to go post-to-post. Stolen by Murtaugh. Murtaugh cycles through some traffic. She'll slow things down into the corner to Simpson. Simpson just avoided stepping on the sideline. Up again to Murtaugh. Pushing it over. Backdoor pass to Berg. And a little too hot of a pass. It'll go out of bounds. The Tetons give it back to Science. Boyes now coming out of the game. She'll exit with 2 fouls. Ezra Baker came in. She played some good minutes when she entered in the first quarter. As the Wildcats have the ball. Getty coming back up the court. She'll cross the timeline now just under 6.5 left to go in the quarter now. It'll go to Baker, swinging around Kumo. She'll look to drive. Euro step through. Garcia with another block. Allie Garcia with her second block of the quarter in about the last minute and a half of play. That'll save a layup and now force the Wildcats to inbound the ball from underneath their own basket. 6:17 left to go in the half. 16 seconds left to go on the shot clock. Inbounding the ball will be Getty. Waiting underneath to Wrestling. Caught underneath the basket. Gets it out to Kumo. Kumo looks to drive. Cut off. Here comes a Baker drive. Van Gils. Now she's going to swing it over to Kumo. Kumo with a three-pointer. Rushes to get it off. No good. Loose ball picked up by Wrestling. Wrestling got away with a walk, but she'll put it back up and in. She now has 4 points, and that's the first bucket of the quarter for Sight. 39-17. Tetons still up by 22 points. Kunze up on top. She'll hand it off to Berg. Her work her way back to the top of the perimeter. Crosses over on Baker. Backs it out. Now to Murtaugh. Surveying, waiting. Has the height advantage. Looking to drive. Back out to Berg. Now Murtaugh, quick catch and shoot three, no good. It'll be pulled down. Kumo is going to be able to take it away from Kunze, and it'll be Simpson running into Kumo. It'll be her second personal, first team. Wrestling sees her first break on the bench as Ashley Kerr comes into the game. Kerr, a 6'6" freshman from Sydney, Australia. So the Tetons now looking to bottle her up. They have both Kunze and Garcia on her. Kumo up on top. They swing it over in the corner to Baker. Baker, shimmy and a shake, just barely kept her pivot foot down. Back into the corner to Kumo, looking underneath. Long pass up on top to Van Gils. She's going to fire from range. Off the back, no good. Murtaugh will pull it down. Tetons clear. And Taylor Murtaugh pushes it back up the court for Williston. Murtaugh will swing it over to Simpson into the corner for Kunze. Kunze up on top to Garcia with the 6'6" forward in there. Here comes a three-pointer. That's going to be no good. Long rebound comes down to Simpson. Swings it back to Berg. Berg caught in no man's land, backing down on Kumo. Fadeaway jumper off the side of the rim, no good. And that'll be a rare miss from the paint for Berg as Kumo comes back up the court, looks to attack, crosses over, got away with a carry. Pass is going to be tipped, and it'll be Garcia comes away with it, but she's going to be fouled by Kerr, who picks up her first personal, third-team foul. And we have another media timeout coming with 4:40 left to go in the first half. Tetons up by 22, 39-17. We're going to take a 1-minute timeout. We'll be back in 60 seconds.
Save on STIHL outdoor power equipment this fall at Acme Tools. Right now, save $50 on the MS250 18-inch gas chainsaw, built for tough tasks and reliable performance. Plus, save up to $50 on a new STIHL backpack blower or blower vac and leave the raking up to the neighbors. And the expert service technicians at Acme Tools can get your hard-to-start power equipment tuned up and ready for those fall projects. Find your STIHL this fall at Acme Tools or online at acmetools.com.
you work hard. You deserve a space that's truly yours. Whether it's upgrading your current home or stepping into something brand new, American State Bank and Trust Company is here to make your dreams a reality.
This is Megan Winker, Assistant Vice President and Real Estate Loan Manager at American State Bank and Trust Company. Our lending team is committed to offering tailored loan options and expert guidance because you deserve nothing but the best. Visit with Heather Ryder or me and go beyond towards the home of your dreams.
Stop in or visit ASBT.com today. Equal Housing Lender, member FDIC.
Mike, we're back here on Teton YouTube for Tetons up 22 against NDSCS. Zenifra Keeksa into the game for the first time. A drive by Kylie Simpson's going to put it up and in. Simpson now with 10 points in the game. And up the court comes Carlo. She'll swing it over to Baker on the near wing. Back up to Wheeler, who's just checked in. Van Gill's tall pass is going to sail on Carlo. That'll be out of bounds. Back to the Tetons with 4:14 left to go in the first half. Keeksa into the game for Coonsey to give a little more post presence underneath. Simpson gets it over to Garcia on the far wing. No one open. Keeksa popping up. They'll get it to Berg on the logo. Now to Murtaugh on the near wing. Driving. She's going to get a step. Swings it underneath to Garcia. Garcia for three. Rainbow. And that's not going to hit anything. It'll be pulled down by Wheeler. Good challenge by Van Gils. Up the court now comes Lolo Carlo and the Wildcats under 4 minutes left to go. They're looking for a dump pass underneath. They get it to Baker on the far wing. Bounce it back up to Carlo. Back again down to Baker. To Carlo for three. And that one is going to be off the back of the iron. Baker gets the rebound up to Van Gils on top of the perimeter. Looking to go underneath. They get it instead to Carlo. She's going to fire another one. That time she gets it to go down. First bucket of the game for Carlo. Makes it now 41-20. Under 3.5 left to go in the first half. Simpson works it up to the top of the perimeter. Now over to Garcia, waiting for someone to clear open. Keeksa gets it on top, hands it off to Berg. Berg looking down low, nothing there. Simpson over on the far wing. Simpson's going to fire. That one's good. Kylie gets those 3 points right back. Tetons back up by 24. Back up the court comes Carlo and the Wildcats. 3 minutes left to go in the half. Carlo looking to drive. She's going to kick it out. No one home. Out of bounds it goes. It'll turn over back to Williston State with 2:57 left to go in the second quarter. Substitutions coming into the game for the Tetons. It will be Bolito and Conradson into the game for Garcia and Murtaugh. So the Tetons took their time, but they did get some huge production out of the starting five. Now looking to do the same from some of their bench units. Keeksa hands it off to Bolito up on top. Gets to the high elbow. Hands it off to Conradson. Conradson thought about a three-pointer to Keeksa, and she's going to be whistled for the travel. Couldn't keep her pivot foot down, and it'll be now coming back into the game is going to be Coonsey. She'll come in for Berg, so Jersey Berg getting her first break on the bench. And coming out for the Wildcats is going to be Van Gils. Back in is Haley Markle. Carlo back up the court for the Wildcats. Into the corner to Baker, looking for Markle up on top. Gets it to her, looking to drive. She loses the ball, hand picked up by Keeksa. Gets it off to Simpson. 2.5 left to go. Tetons looking to make another late push in the quarter to push the lead out. Currently sitting at 24. Simpson around a double high screen. She's going to get to the edge, over up to Bolito. Caught off by Markle. Now is going to drive. Goes for a dump pass underneath. Up and in. Keeksa with her first bucket of the game. Tetons with their biggest lead yet. 26 points, 46-20. Back up comes Carlo. Going to cross over on Bolito. Long 2-point shot up, no good. Keeksa with the board. She's going to be fouled from behind. That foul is going to go on Kerr. It's her second personal. Fourth team. Carlo comes out of the game for the Wildcats. Checking back in is going to be Getty. Now Simpson checking out for the Tetons with Murtaugh coming back in. And another late substitution is Kerr coming out with Wrestling coming in. Murtaugh brings the ball up the court, gets the handoff from Conradson. Pushes across the timeline. Tia gets it over on the far wing, and it'll be out of bounds through Conradson's hands. Turns the ball back over to the Wildcats with 1:55 left to go. And no, they're going to say it's Tetons' ball here with... There's going to be a... There's still... No, they're changing it back to Wildcats' ball. So look to be just through the hands of Conradson. I think there was a question whether it was the Wildcat touch, but they'll give it back to Science. 1:55 left to go. Getty walking it across the timeline. 46-20. Swings it over on the wing to Wheeler. Takes off, elbow up to Baker in the corner, looking down low for wrestling. Keeksa with great defense down on the league's most prolific scorer. Back up to Baker. Keeksa still battling down low. Wrestling pulled off the post about 4 feet. Now Markle has it. Backdoor pass to Wheeler underneath. And there's going to be a foul on Keeksa. She was wrestling hard there with Wheeler. That one could have went either way. Keeksa picks up her first personal, second team, with $1:30 left to go. 20 seconds put up back on the shot clock. Inbound play now coming to get it over to Markle. She's going to be cut off by Bolito, and there's going to be a missed travel called on Markle. Here's a baseline drive put up, no good. Keeksa with the board, gets it off to Murtaugh. T-Tots now can salt more time off the clock and try to push the lead back out. Bolito wide open. She's going to cross over on her defender in Wheeler. Gets down low to the low post, puts it up, no good. Wheeler comes down with the board. She's going to be trapped by a couple of defenders. No one home. Finally force it up to Baker. Baker's going to run into Murtaugh, who will pick up her first personal, third team foul. 1:04 left to go. So inbound play in the backcourt for the Wildcats. 1:04 left to go. Getty working it up. Still trying to attack this 2-3 zone. Baker back to Getty. Swing pass over to Markle. Up to Getty, a good. Again, high post Wheeler calling for action. They get it to Markle. Markle's going to lose it off her hands. Keeksa picks it up, and they're going to call a travel as Keeksa was bumped by Markle. Knocked her off her pivot. Garcia set to come back in the game for Williston State, as does Berg. We'll have to see who's the substitutions they're going to be in for. It is going to be Conradson and Keeksa. So Berg and Garcia back into the game for Williston State. Inbound play goes into the paint to Wheeler with a jump putback. That's going to be up and good. Wheeler gets her first points of the game, makes it 46-22. Murtaugh, long pass to Garcia on the wing. Had Bolito, and a tall pass going to hit the side of the rim. No good. A little bit airmailed there by Garcia. And under now at 30 seconds. 5-second differential between the shot and the play clock. Getty has it on top of the perimeter. Kicks it over to Markle. Down low for Wheeler. She's still being double teamed. Now to Baker. High post to Wheeler. Wheeler tries to slip it underneath to Wrestler. Kicks it out in the corner. Here's Getty for three. Contested. Got it to go. Tough shot by Peyton Getty. She has 6 points in the game to lead NDSCS in scoring. 5 seconds left to go. And there's going to be a travel called on Taylor Murtaugh. Williston State still up by 21. They're going to bring Carlo back in favor of Marco. Carlo hit a three-pointer earlier in the quarter. Back up the court now again. Carlo gets a long inbound pass. Bolito out on top of her. 1 second left. Bolito has her in a phone booth, and Science isn't going to get a shot off. So the Tetons in the second quarter outscored Science 16-10 to push their 15-point lead out when they started the quarter, now to 21 at the break. They've led by as many as 26 before a 5-0 run before the end of the half. The Tetons rolling here in the first half. We have 20 more minutes left of ball to go. We're going to take a timeout so we can go pick up all of the stats from the scorer's bench. When we come back, we'll have a complete breakdown of the halftime stats. It is our game sponsor for today is Coca-Cola of Williston. And in attendance for the two Teton matchups this afternoon, they will have students from Lewis and Clark Elementary here from Williston. So the students now going, they're going to enjoy some refreshments and have some fun during halftime. We're going to take that timeout now. When we come back, we'll break everything down for you here from the Well in Williston.
At American State Bank and Trust Company, we want you to bank your way, whether that's on the go or at home. We make your life easier with online and mobile banking, bill pay, remote deposit, electronic payments, and more. Free, convenient, secure services, all available to you. Banking should happen on your time, wherever you are and whenever you need it. Go beyond with American State Bank and Trust Company. Stop in or visit asbt.com to enjoy a better digital banking experience. Member FDIC.
WCCU is your local credit union, which means they're a not-for-profit financial institution owned by you. WCCU has been serving Williston for many years and is proud of the difference they have made in the community. They are there when you need them, from home, agriculture, and auto loans to checking and saving accounts. If you sign up for a Casasa checking account with WCCU, you'll get more than just free checking. You choose your checking account, and get your choice of rewards like nationwide ATM refunds and a really high interest rate. You can also earn cash back on debit card purchases and earn iTunes, Google Play, and Amazon rewards. So join the herd at WCCU.org.
For more than 70 years, Expanse Electrical Company has delivered market-leading electrical, power, and automation expertise. Built upon a legacy of technology, quality, and craftsmanship, they are confident that they have the best team in the industry and welcome the opportunity to serve you. A proud member of the Williston community, Expanse continually works to build a better future for their company, their craftsmen, and their customers. They pride themselves on having one of the most proficient teams of directly employed licensed electricians and automation engineers in the industry. Interested in powering up your career? Visit expanseelectrical.com/careers to learn about their openings in the North Dakota region.
Legacy. It begins the moment we're born, growing with every step as we journey through life. It lives in the relationships we build along the way and in those we love. At First International Bank and Trust, our legacy is you. In every stage of life, we walk with you, making sure you get to where you're going and protecting your legacy for generations to come. First International Bank and Trust, helping you live first. Member FDIC, Equal Housing Lender.
Looking for reliable professional services for your business? Look no further than One Core Services. They specialize in optimizing operations, enhancing productivity, and ensuring safety across all facets of your business. Whether you need high-pressure pumps, hydrochloric acid, or bulk chemicals, they've got you covered. One Core Services tailors solutions to fit your unique needs, helping you save time and money. Ready to take your production to the next level? Call us today at 701-774-1105. One Core Services, LLC, your trusted partner for success in the oil and gas industry.
Red Rock Ford is a proud supporter of Williston State College Teton Athletics and our community. At Red Rock, we encourage you to get behind our athletes, schools, and local community. Let's support our friends and neighbors as we work together to make our city a great place to live and raise our families. And when it comes time for your next vehicle purchase, see us at Red Rock Ford, where a portion of every dollar spent goes right back into the community you know and love. That's Red Rock Ford, your hometown Ford store, proudly supporting Teton Athletics.
Save on STIHL outdoor power equipment this fall at Acme Tools. Right now, save $50 on the MS250 18-inch gas chainsaw, built for tough tasks and reliable performance. Plus, save up to $50 on a new STIHL backpack blower or blower vac and leave the raking up to the neighbors. And the expert service technicians at Acme Tools can get your hard-to-start power equipment tuned up and ready for those fall projects. Find your STIHL this fall at Acme Tools or online at acmetools.com.
WCCU is your local credit union, which means they're a non-for-profit financial institution owned by you. WCCU has been serving Williston for many years and is proud of the difference they have made in their community. They are there when you need them, from home, agriculture, and auto loans to checking and saving accounts. If you sign up for a Casasa checking account with WCCU, you'll get more than just free checking. You choose your checking account and get your choice of rewards like nationwide ATM refunds and a really high interest rate. You can also earn cash back on debit card purchases and earn iTunes, Google Play, and Amazon rewards. So join the herd at WCCU.org.
Mike Rubeck here for Teton Basketball exclusively all season long on the Williston State College YouTube page. While some of the youngsters from Lewis and Clark Elementary are shooting some hoops out on the court, we'll give you the halftime breakdown of the Tetons game against NDSCS and the Wildcats. Williston State has a 21-point lead at halftime, 46-25. Taking a look first at the scoring for Science. 6 points each from Demi Van Gils and Peyton Getty. 4 points coming in from Maggie Wrestling, 3 points in from Lolo Carlo, and 2 points in each from Marley Wheeler, Ava Boyas, and McKenna Cuomo. In the first quarter, Science shot 6 for 18 for 33%, 1 of 6 from deep for 16%, and 2 of 2 from the charity stripe for 100%. In quarter number 2, they were 4 of 14 from the field for 26%, 2 of 8 from deep for 25%, and did not attempt a free throw. Overall, in the first half, Science went 10 of 32 from the field for 31%, 3 of 14 for deep for 21%, and were still a perfect 2 for 2 from the line. 16 total rebounds in that half, 9 defensive, 7 offensive. They're led in rebounding by Wrestling, who had 6 at the break, 2 defensive, 4 offensive rebounds, and most of those came within the first couple of minutes of the game. 6 assists, 4 blocks, or 6 assists, 4 steals, 1 block, 12 turnovers, and 5 personal fouls. Looking over at Williston State and the Tetons, Kylie Simpson and Taylor Murtaugh each paving the way with 13 points apiece. Allison Kunze right behind with 11, 7 points in from Ali Garcia, and 2 points comes from Zenifra Rieksta. We have now looking at the shooting percentages for the Tetons. They shot a blazing 16 of 19 in the first quarter for 68%, hit 4 of 6 for deep from beyond the arc for 66%, and did not attempt a free throw in that first quarter. In the second quarter, the Tetons cooled down a little bit from the field, going just 6 for 13 for 46%, 3 of 7 from deep for 42%, and hit 1 of their 2 free throws that they took for 50%. Overall, in the half, they're 19 of 32 for 59% from the field, 7 of 13 from deep for 53%, and 1 of 2 from the line. 17 total rebounds in the half. The Tetons are a +1 at the break. They're led by Allison Kunze, who has 7, 5 defensive, 2 offensive rebounds, 9 assists in the half, 5 steals, 4 blocks, 8 turnovers, and 5 personal fouls committed. Only Kylie Simpson has more than 1. She has 2 personal fouls, and then Murtaugh, Garcia, and Rieksta each with a foul apiece. Looking up at the fouls for Science, they have 5 fouls as well. It's Ashley Kerr, the backup center, and Ava Boyes, the starting forward, each with 2, and then Maggie Wrestling just with 1. Looking at some of the advanced stats, points in the paint, 20 to 14 Tetons. Points off of turnovers, 9 to 8 Science. Second chance points, 7 to 2 Science. Bench points, 5 to 2 Science. There were 3 ties, 9 lead changes. The last time it was a lead change happened when the Tetons took the lead from it being 14 to 15. From then, they put the hammer down, ended up taking a 30 to 15 lead after the first quarter, and they'd start off on an 8-0 run in the second quarter as well. Ended up outscoring Science 16 to 10 in quarter number 2. Largest lead for Science came with 9:53 left to go in the first quarter, and that was a 2-point lead. The Tetons had managed to push their lead up to 26 points. And knowing Coach Triplett, he is not going to be satisfied with any complacency out on the court, as he knows this is a very talented Science team. He's going to make sure he presses the issue here until it comes down to the waning minutes of the game, and only if the Tetons have a comfortable lead. 5 minutes left to go before we get started with the second half. We're going to take another quick break here from the well in Williston. We'll be back for more Teton basketball exclusively on the Williston State YouTube page with our game sponsor, Coke of Williston. Mike back here for Teton basketball exclusively on the Williston State College YouTube page. Both teams huddle up along their benches, getting ready to go for the start of the second half. Tetons getting some last-second advice from Coach Triplett before they try to put the hammer down here in the second. See if they can get off to a hot start and keep this very, very good NDSCS team at bay. And expect this Science team to make a run at some point here in the second half. Same 5 starters out on the court that we began the game with for Williston State, waiting for Science to come out. They will likely be coming out with their starters as well, and it does appear that they are going to. For Science, Coolmo, Van Gils, Getty, as well as Boyas and Wrestling. And for the Tetons, Kunze, Simpson, Murtaugh, Garcia, and Berg. Science starts off with the ball. Here comes a drive by Coolmo, gets into the body of Kunze, and Wrestling gets the offensive rebound, puts it back up and in. First points of the half go to Science, make it a 19-point Teton lead, 46-27. Kunze hands it off to Garcia, wide open look from 3 off the mark, no good. Rebound's going to be pulled down by Berg, underneath Berg. Kunze's going to be tipped out of bounds. They're going to say it's off of Kunze's hands. So the Tetons start off with an empty set after giving up a bucket. Now they'll look to try and lock down defensively. Still double teaming Wrestling down in the low post. Back up the court now comes Getty across the timeline. She'll get underneath the Coolmo. Screen looking for Van Gils. Well scouted by the Tetons. Van Gils now setting a screen for Getty up on top. Good switch by the Tetons. Long cross-court pass over to Boyas. Up on top to Getty. Going to cross over, drive through, kick it out to Boyas for 3 on the way. That one's a long rebound, going to come down, and there's going to be a foul called on Boyas. That's going to be her third that she picks up with 9:10 left to go in the third quarter. It'll likely be a quick substitution coming in. Now over on the bench for Science, it was Ezra Baker talking to her coach. Not sure if she picked something up schematically. Garcia gets it over to Simpson, looking underneath for Kunze. She's covered up by Wrestling. Simpson with a drive, bumped off the mark, gets it up to Garcia. Garcia to Murtaugh. Murtaugh will hand it off to Berg. Bobbles the pass. Berg will pick it back up. Berg now to Garcia. Garcia again tries her luck from 3. That time she gets it to go. Allie Garcia now with 8 points in the game. Leads back up to 22 points, 49-27. Van Gils gets it into the corner to Boyas. Back up to Van Gils. Van Gils now with a 3-pointer. In and out, no good. Pulled down by Garcia. Puts it up to Murtaugh. 8.5 left to go in the third. To Berg in the corner. No-look pass. Going to be stolen away by Wrestling. Good recovery by Wrestling defensively to get the steal away. 2 turnovers to start the half for Williston State. Getty on the far wing. Up to Kumo. Over to Van Gils. Looking underneath at a wide-open Boyas. She's going to get it and put it up and in. So an adjustment made there at the half by Science results in a couple of early buckets. 49-29. Simpson underneath to Kunze, working on Wrestling. Here comes a double team. Kunze puts it up off the baseline. She was just about behind the basket when she let that one go. Kunze now with 13 points in the game. Long pass over to Van Gils, picked up by Murtaugh. Swing it over to Kumo. Again lost in the sauce is going to be Boyas, and she scored back-to-back buckets for this Science team. So they now back to 20 points, 51-31. Simpson looks to drive. She's going to be cut off by Kumo on the baseline. Kumo will tip it away, and it'll go out of bounds. It'll stay with Williston State. 7:29 left to go in the third on the American State Bank scoreboard. Simpson set to trigger the inbound pass. Quick pass into Berg. Holds on to it now, puts it on the deck. She'll hand it off to Garcia. Garcia again for 3. That one's going to be good. Allie Garcia with her second 3 of the quarter. She's now up to 11 points, 54-31. Van Gils driving, dumps it off underneath, and there's going to be a foul called. Van Boys put it back up. She was going for her third bucket of the quarter so far. She's going to be fouled by Kunze. Kunze picks up just her first personal. First team foul in the quarter. Boyas goes to the stripe for her first free throws of the game. First one on the way is going to be good. She now has 7 points to lead all scorers for Science. She'll have one more coming. Here with 7:12 left to go in the third quarter. Second of 2 on the way. That one is good as well. 54-33. Simpson coming back up the court for Williston State. She'll cross the timeline, looking to set up the half-court look. Picked up on top of the perimeter by Kumo. No one approaching. Over to go to Murtaugh. Murtaugh looking to drive on Getty. She's going to have it poked away. Getty with a steal. Getty's going to lose the ball now. Get caught. No, she doesn't get called for the travel. Out to Van Gils underneath. And Van Gils now will get called for the travel. Shoveled her feet before she took off on the nice drive. She also had Boyes again wide open down low. So Berg now will get the ball into Garcia. Under 7 minutes left to go in the third. 17 minutes left to go in the game. Tetons up 54-33. Simpson looking backdoor, and she gets tangled up with Getty, and the Tetons again turn it over. They've had an outbreak of turnovers so far in this third quarter. And Science now will get the ball back. They see if they can't bring it back within 20 points. They've closed it to within 19 at 1 point so far in the half. Kumo on the far wing. Get it up on top to Van Gils. Now to Getty looking to get it underneath. Then Getty drives. Bounce pass in the paint underneath the Boyes, who's going to be called for the travel. And that'll turn it back over to Williston State. So the Tetons have been doing enough not to allow a run here by Science so far. They'll need to clean up some of their offensive work as Simpson comes back up the court. Long pass over to Murtaugh. Looking underneath for Simpson. Up pops Coonsey. Now to Berg. Berg looking backdoor. Nothing there. Now Simpson looking to drive. Kicks it over to Murtaugh for three from the wing. Off the mark. No good. It'll be pulled down by Wrestling. She'll muscle through and kick it off again to Getty, who'll march it up the court. Kumo looking down underneath, trying to find Boyes. Nothing there. Van Gils for a three-pointer, and she'll knock that one down. Demi Van Gils now with 9 points in the game. 18-point lead for Williston State. 5:50 left to go in the quarter. Murtaugh hands it off to Garcia. Gets it to Coonsey. Coonsey pulls up from 12 feet, knocks it down. Allison Coonsey now with 15 points. As back come the Tetons up 20, 56-36. Van Gils again driving, swings it over to Kumo on the wing. Gets the blow by, and she's going to be blocked by Berg. Kept alive by Coonsey. Coonsey got caught up with Kumo. So the coach for Science and Friscop begging for a foul. Though Berg has it underneath. It's going to be tipped away last second by Boyes. Underneath to Berg. Berg to Coonsey. Coonsey puts it up and into more for Coonsey. She quickly has 17 points. She scored 6 this quarter so far. Baker set to check in on the next stop. Van Gils now working on the top of the perimeter. Got away with another carry up. It'll go to Getty. Back to Van Gils. Now Kumo. High post to Boyes. Underneath for Wrestling. She's going to try to muscle it away and does. She's going to be... Oh my, could have had a jump ball, and it should have been a block on Berg. Instead, it'll be a foul to send Wrestler to the stripe. That's just the first on Jersey with 4:55 left to go in the quarter. We have our media timeout. We're going to take a 1 minute break. When we come back, we'll have more Teton basketball for you right here on the Williston State College YouTube channel.
Looking for reliable professional services for your business? Look no further than One Core Services. They specialize in optimizing operations, enhancing productivity, and ensuring safety across all facets of your business. Whether you need high-pressure pumps, hydrochloric acid, or bulk chemicals, we've got you covered. One Core Services tailor solutions to fit your unique needs, helping you save time and money. Ready to take your production to the next level? Call us today at 701-774-1105. One Core Services, LLC. Your trusted partner for success in the oil and gas industry.
WCCU is your local credit union, which means they're a not-for-profit financial institution owned by you. WCCU has been serving Williston for many years and is proud of the difference they have made in the community. They are there when you need them, from home, agriculture, and auto loans to checking and saving accounts. If you sign up for a Casasa checking account with WCCU, you'll get more than just free checking. You choose your checking account and get your choice of rewards like nationwide ATM refunds and a really high interest rate. You can also earn cash back on debit card purchases and earn iTunes, Google Play, and Amazon rewards. So join the herd at WCCU.org.
Mike Ruderbeck here for Teton basketball. At the stripe is Maggie Wrestling for a pair of shots after she was fouled by Jersey Berg. Berg's first, and Wrestling puts her first one up and in. Make it back to a 21-point game. Both teams have scored 12 points so far in the quarter. All 12 of the points from the Tetons have come from the combination of Garcia and Coonsey. Second free throw from Wrestling is going to be up and good. Tetons up 58-38. Under 5 minutes left to go in the third quarter. Simpson gets to the timeline, walks across now over to Murtaugh on the far wing. Berg picks it up on top of the perimeter, swings it to Garcia. Garcia on the drive on Van Gils. She's going to float it up and get it to go. Tough shot for Garcia, who got it to go. She now has 8 points in the quarter, 13 in the game. Tetons back up by 22, 60-38. 4.5 left to go. Kumo looking underneath. Baker trying to set a screen underneath for Van Gils. Able to get it underneath to Wrestling. And Wrestling's going to be fouled by Garcia, who picks up her second. That'll send Wrestling back to the stripe. She knocked down her last two the last trip down the court. And they may look to feed a heavy dime. No, they're going to say it's on the ground, so no shots coming. Gets it underneath. Kunze with a steal. Jumped in front of the pass. Berg working through traffic. And a Kumo with a reach in. No call. Again, Kumo all over her. And Kumo's going to pick up the foul that time. Got onto the wrist of Jersey Berg. That'll just be her first personal, second team foul in the quarter for the Science. Simpson gets the inbound pass from Berg, pushes over to the far wing, up on top to Kunze, hands it off to Murtaugh. Murtaugh thought about a shot, good closeout, swings it back to Kunze, step back from the elbow over the top of Wrestling, no good. Kumo with the board, she'll get it off to Getty. Getty pushes it ahead to Baker, has Wrestler underneath, kicks it to Van Gils in the corner, and that'll be a three-pointer from Van Gils. Her second of the game. She has 12 points now to lead the Wildcats in scoring. Simpson again up the court, 60-41. Here comes Murtaugh for a three. That's no good. It'll be Kunze with an offensive rebound. Underneath, baseline pass over to Simpson. She's going to be bumped by Kumo, who will pick up her second. That'll be the third team foul on Science in the quarter. 3:41 left to go. Both teams with 3 fouls apiece on the American State Bank scoreboard. Coach Triplett calling for an inbound play as they wait for action as McKenna Kumo ties her shoe. Now looks like we're all set to go. Simpson looking back door, nothing there. Kunze gets it in the paint, flips it up, and just rolls off the rim, no good. She's going to push it up to Baker. Baker cross court to Van Gils in the corner. And there's going to be a travel called on Van Gils. Drug her pivot foot and a good closeout by Garcia. So another turnover will give it back to Williston State with 3:31 left to go in the quarter. Simpson slowly walking up the court. Tetons love to chunk a bunch of time off the clock. Simpson now gets it to Kunze. Kunze back to Simpson. Head and shoulders fake. She'll get to the elbow. Pump fakes again. Got it up and just couldn't get it to drop. Wrestling should have been called for a foul there. There's going to be a jump ball. It'll keep possession with the Tetons. Here with 3:12 left to go. Fresh 20 back on the shot clock. Coach Triplett puts a sign up in the air for his squad. Along the points. Bounce pass into Berg. Waiting for Simpson to come pick it up. There'll be a fake now. Berg has the ball. Gets to the elbow. Swing pass. Simpson wide open. Look for the corner for three. Off the mark. No good. Baker will pull down the long rebound. She'll push the issue up the court. Attacking 2 defenders. Van Gils. Basement pass underneath the Kumo. Puts it up and that'll be in there. McKenna Kumo now with 4 points in the game. She had the second bucket of the game for the Wildcats. Murtaugh. Backdoor pass is going to be stolen away by Kumo. 17-point lead for Williston State, and Garcia is going to be called for the foul as she tried to go with the steal on Kumo, ended up colliding into her as Garcia picks up her third personal, first Teton in foul trouble. As Bolito will come up off the bench for Williston State, first substitution for the Tetons. Only one substitution so far for the Wildcats in the quarter. Kumo inbounds the ball to Getty. Works it along the top of the perimeter. Kumo into the corner to Van Giles. Catch and shoot for three and knocks another one down. Van Giles now up to 15 points in the game. Cuts the lead down to 14, 60-46. And we have a timeout on the court called by the Wildcats. It's a full one. We'll take a full one as well. Back in 1 minute.
Red Rock Ford is a proud supporter of Williston State College Teton Athletics and our community. At Red Rock, we encourage you to get behind our athletes, schools, and local community. Let's support our friends and neighbors as we work together to make our city a great place to live and raise our families. And when it comes time for your next vehicle purchase, see us at Red Rock Ford, where a portion of every dollar spent goes right back into the community you know and love. That's Red Rock Ford, your hometown Ford store, proudly supporting Teton Athletics.
Say Save on STIHL outdoor power equipment this fall at Acme Tools. Right now, save $50 on the MS250 18-inch gas chainsaw, built for tough tasks and reliable performance. Plus, save up to $50 on a new STIHL backpack blower or blower vac and leave the raking up to the neighbors. And the expert service technicians at Acme Tools can get your hard-to-start power equipment tuned up and ready for those fall projects. Find your STIHL this fall at Acme Tools or online at acmetools.com.
Mike Ruder back here for Teton basketball. Science has outscored Williston State 21-14 so far in this third quarter. They've cut the lead down to 14, 60-46. Berg gets the ball off to Bolito. Got away with a double dribble out on top to Kunze. Now hands the ball to Simpson. Simpson looking, surveying. She's going to be bodied up by Kumo. Kunze gets it in the low post. Drop step, puts it up. No good. It'll be pulled down by Wrestling. Kunze can buy a bucket. Back up the court comes Kumo. Tries a crossover. She'll kick it out to Van Gill. She's been hot here. Bounce pass back out. Up on top. It'll go to Baker. Swing pass over to Getty. She's going to take off. Drives. Is going to be blocked. A late foul is going to be called on Murtaugh. Will pick up her second. And that'll send Getty to the stripe for a pair. Here with 2 minutes on the dot left to go. Now Getty and the Wildcats a chance to climb back to within 12 points. Hasn't been this close since the first quarter. The first one is going to be off the side of the rim. No good. We'll have one more coming. Still can make it a 13-point game. 12 minutes left to go in the ball game. As Getty's at the line for her second of two. Next one is going to be up off the mark. No good. Wrestling with an offensive rebound. She bullied her way through. Gets it into Baker, and she's going to barrel over Berg. Offensive foul. Jersey Berg. No one does it better. And she will draw the foul on Baker. That'll be now her. Baker picks up her first personal. Fourth team foul on the Wildcats, so no one has any left to give. Tetons with 5. Wildcats with 4 in the quarter. Simpson working her way back up the court. 1:49 left to go in the quarter. Murtaugh curling around the top of the perimeter looking for Simpson. Underneath to Kunze, and there's going to be a foul called on Wrestling. That'll put Kunze to the line for a pair as Simpson tried to go through the body of Kunze to deflect the ball. So that's actually the third personal on Wrestling. But Kunze to the line for 2 shots. Kunze's first one is going to be up and good. That's just the third free throw taken all game long by the Tetons. All of them came from Kunze. She now has 18 points with one more shot coming from the stripe. Second of 2 on the way. That one, no good. Pulled down by Wrestling. Tetons now 2 for 4 from the line in the game. Long pass over to Baker along the perimeter. She'll pull it down, give it back to Getty. 1:35 left to go in the quarter. 61-46. Getty over to Van Gill. She's had the hot hand as of late. Back up to Getty. Now to Van Gil's underneath to Baker. Baker pushes it out to Kumo. Late closeout. That's going to be no good. Wrestling can't pull down the rebound. Still loose ball. And it'll be scramble for it on the ground. And there's going to be a timeout called by the Wildcats. They ended up coming away with the ball but wanted to secure the possession. It'll be a short timeout here on the court. We'll take a short one as well. Back in 30 seconds.
At American State Bank and Trust Company, we want you to bank your way, whether that's on the go or at home. We make your life easier with online and mobile banking, bill pay, remote deposit, electronic payments, and more. Free, convenient, secure services, all available to you. Banking should happen on your time, wherever you are and whenever you need it. Go beyond with American State Bank and Trust Company. Stop in or visit asbt.com to enjoy a better digital banking experience. Member FDIC.
Mike Ruder back here for Teton basketball on 660 Keys News Radio. Science has the ball with 1:16 left to go in the quarter. 61-46. It'll be Getty inbounding the ball from underneath her own basket. Looking for Baker. No one there. Up on top to Kumo. One touch pass to Van Giles. She's going to drive. Losing it out of bounds. But it'll be last touch by Murtaugh. We got to poke away at the ball. 16 on the shot clock. 1:13 left to go in the quarter. Inbound play again coming from underneath the basket. Van Giles, another catch and shoot. She puts it up one-handed and gets it a drop. She now has 17 in the game. 61-48. Back up the court comes the Tetons. Simpson has it over to Berg on the wing. Now to Murtaugh. Murtaugh. Three-pointer on the way from Taylor. That's going to be off the mark. No good. It'll be pulled down by Kumo. Kumo picked up her dribble. Simpson's late to get back. Bolito with good defense, hounding Kumo up the court, and there's going to be of free throws coming now as Bolito gets whistled for the foul. That'll be a couple of freebies coming for Coolmo. As Tia Conradson set to check into the game. As Tia will come in for Bolito. Conradson also a very, very good three-point shooter for Williston State. Coolmo at the line for two. Her first one is going to be up and good. That'll make it a 12-point game, 61-49. 24-15 quarter in favor of the Wildcats, and they do one better as Coolmo knocks down her second of two. Tetons have been stuck where they're at on the scoreboard for a while. 45 seconds left to go. 20-second differential between the shot and the game clock. Murtaugh is going to line up for a three-pointer, and there's an offensive foul on Coonsey. Coonsey will pick up her second, and it'll give the ball back to Science. If they hurry, they can go for a 2-for-1. Let's see if they look to trigger. Getty, long pass over to Coolmo, looking underneath for Wrestler, back up on top. Now to Van Giles, back to Getty. Getty's going to slip, gets it off to Coolmo, underneath, tipped away by Conradson. Great play now up to Berg. Berg, 2-on-1. She's going to have it poked away by Coolmo, and it'll stay with Williston State. Shot clock is off with 24 seconds left to go in the quarter. Tetons would love something in this final possession. Berg gets it up on top of the perimeter to Coonsey. Back out to Simpson. 20 seconds left. Simpson dribbling along the logo, taking some time off the clock. Here comes Coolmo to push some on-ball defense. She'll back around to the top of the perimeter. 12 seconds left to go. Here comes action over on the wing to Murtaugh. Up top pops Garcia. Now to Simpson. Simpson with a three. In and out, no good. It'll be pulled down by Wrestling. Looks to put it up, gets it to Coolmo, flips it across. No shot again. But is a big third quarter for Science. Outscored Williston State 25-15. And it's an 11-point game heading into the fourth quarter. Tetons looking to see if now if they can hold on to this one. We're going to take a 1-minute timeout. When we come back, we'll have the start of the fourth quarter here from Williston.
Legacy. It begins the moment we're born, growing with every step as we journey through life. It lives in the relationships we build along the way and in those we love. At First International Bank and Trust, our legacy is you. At every stage of life, we walk with you, making sure you get to where you're going and protecting your legacy for generations to come. First International Bank and Trust, helping you live first. Member FDIC, housing lender.
WCCU is your local credit union, which means they're a not-for-profit financial institution owned by you. WCCU has been serving Williston for many years and is proud of the difference they have made in the community. They are there when you need them, from home, agriculture, and auto loans to checking and saving accounts. If you sign up for a Casasa checking account with WCCU, you'll get more than just free checking. You choose your checking account and get your choice of rewards like nationwide ATM refunds and a really high interest rate. You can also earn cash back on debit card purchases and earn iTunes, Google Play, and Amazon rewards. So join the herd at WCCU.org.
Mike, we're back here, and the Tetons force a turnover as we start the quarter, and on the attempt for a breakaway, Van Giles hits a foul on Berg, and it'll be the first team foul, the first personal on Van Giles. Tetons now have the ball. Simpson up on top of the perimeter to Coonsey. She'll hand it off to Murtaugh. Murtaugh weaving around, hands it back off to Berg. They two run into each other momentarily. Back to Simpson. Hands it again off to Murtaugh. Picks up a Coonsey screen. Murtaugh over to Simpson again. Looking down underneath for Coonsey. Nothing there. Simpson looks to drive. Turned away. Hands it back to Murtaugh. 9 on the shot clock. Murtaugh going to kick it back out. She throws it away. Up comes it. Goes to Baker. Here comes Berg for the chase down. And can't get there in time. Ezra Baker with the bucket. Her first points of the game. Now it's a 9-point game. Tetons led by as many as 26 in the game. Simpson will hand it off to Conradson. Garcia set to check in on the next stop. Murtaugh gets it in the low post. Tipped away again by Wrestling. Wrestling now going to run the paint. Going to back down over to Murtaugh. Wrestling puts it in up over the top of Murtaugh for two. A 7-point game, 61-54. Back up the court comes Simpson. Hands it on top to Coonsey. Coonsey gets it to Conradson. Three-pointer on the way from Tia, off the mark, no good. Tetons cannot buy a bucket the last about 8 minutes of in-game play. Chance now for Science to bring it down to a 2 or 1 possession game. Van Gile stepping back along the perimeter. Long pass to Baker in the corner. Flips it up to Wrestling on the low post. On it goes. Getty, three-pointer off the mark, no good. Murtaugh with the rebound. She's going to kick it ahead to Simpson. Simpson peels back, set up the half-court set now to Murtaugh on the near wing. Everyone lost Murtaugh. She goes for the floater. That's going to be no good, but a block from behind by Wrestling on Coonsey, putting it back up. Coonsey no good again. Wrestling's going to pull it down. Again, the Tetons with another empty set on the court offensively. 8 minutes left to go in a 7-point game. All the momentum to NDSCS. Tetons looking to find a spark. Out to Van Giles on the wing. One-on-one Wrestling underneath. She's going to push it through and knock it down. 5-point game, 61-56. Since halftime, it is a 31-15 run, and Coach Tripple's going to call a timeout. Wildcats on their feet, excited. Tetons looking to figure things out. It's going to be a short timeout. We'll take a short one as well. Back in 30 seconds.
Farmers and ranchers, set your goals with American State Bank and Trust Company of Williston. Whether it's equipment, land, or working capital, our experienced ag team offers a flexible, competitive, and personalized approach.
This is Aaron Gramley, Ag Loan Manager at American State Bank and Trust Company. We understand the challenges and opportunities unique to this region. Reach out today to set up a visit to our office or out in your field.
ASB's experienced and committed ag team is ready to help you go beyond. Member FDIC, Equal Opportunity Lender.
Mike Drew back here for Teton basketball on 660 Keys News Radio. Tetons 21-point lead at the half. They led by as many as 26, and now we're up just 5, 61-56. Garcia back into the game for Williston State. Came in for Tia Conradson. Tetons have the ball. Berg has it up on top. Berg looking to drive on Baker. Loses the handle, picks it up, stays through traffic. Outer goal for Garcia. Gets a blow-up by Van Gils. Garcia puts it up off the board. No good. Tipped around. It'll come down to Wrestling. She's going to lose a handle and pick it up in the corner. Chance for Science to bring it down to a one-possession game with 7:20 left to go in the fourth quarter. Getty across the timeline. Picked up by Simpson. Tetons back into their 2-3 zone. Baker over to Getty again. Van Gils in the paint. She'll pull the trigger. Got it to go. Van Gils now with 19 in the game. It's a 3-point game, 61-58. Kylie Simpson back up the court for the Tetons. She'll get it to Coonsey on top. Coonsey picks up her dribble, back to Simpson looking to drive, and she's going to be fouled. It's going to be go against Kumo. That's her third personal. First team foul in the half. Oh, second team foul, in the half. 6:50 left to go. Inbound play goes to Berg in the corner. Up to Coonsey looking for Simpson on the wing. Simpson gets it. Head and shoulders fake. Just about stripped by Kumo. Into the post for Berg. Berg with a fadeaway jumper. Hand her to face. No good. Wrestling again with the rebound. Rips it away from Coonsey. Pushes it back up the court. 6:30 left to go as Getty crosses the timeline. One possession game. Long pass over to Van Gils. Long pass over to Baker. Berg just about jumped the passing lane. She'll have to recover to get on a low wing defense. Van Gils for the tie from 3. Off the mark, no good. Battle for it. It'll be Baker who comes down to the board. She'll get it over to Kumo. Up on top to Getty. Getty looking to drive. She goes for the floater. Up, no good. Pulled down by Coonsey. She's going to be knocked to the ground, and she'll be had a grip on it, and Wrestler lifted her off the ground, grabbing the ball. Alternating arrow gives it back to Williston State, who holds on to a 3-point lead, 61-58. Inbound play now comes for the Tetons. Tetons have got to be approaching about a 7-8 minute dry spell from the field. Long pass to Murtaugh. That one just about sailed out of bounds. Up on top of the perimeter now to Simpson. Simpson looking back door, nothing there. Drives on Van Gils, puts up the slow floater, and there's going to be a foul called on Van Gils. That'll be her second team. And that'll send Kylie Simpson to the stripe. Just a third trip to the stripe all game long for Williston State. Simpson with 13 points, looking to push the lead back out to 2 possessions. Will miss the first one. She'll have one more coming. 5:50 left to go in the game. 61-58 on the American State Bank scoreboard. Here comes number 2 from Simpson. That one's no good. Coonsey with the rebound. She'll push it up. That's going to be no good. Tipped around. Coonsey got hit in the head on that one, but it'll go out of bounds. Back to Science. Coach Triplett saying, hey, what about that awful contact down low, but to no avail. Back of the court come the Wildcats. Long pass over to Kumo across the timeline. Looking to take off. Back up on top. It'll go to Getty. In the corner for Van Gils. Cross court again to Kumo. Good closeout by Garcia. Looking for Kumo again on the far wing. Wrestling has a good position underneath. Backs down, and there's going to be a foul called on the Tetons. It's going to be either on Berg or Coonsey, and it's going to go against Jersey Berg, her second personal, first team. Maggie wrestling at the stripe for 2 more. Chance to make it a 1-point game. She can knock down both. She is 2 for 2 from the stripe already. She knocks down her first. She'll have 1 more coming. So wrestling at the line for her second of 2. Next one on the way. That one is good. 1-point game. 61-60. Since we came back from the halftime break, it has been a 35-15 run for Science. Berg hands it off to Garcia. Shimmies up on the perimeter to Coonsey. Now finds Simpson. Swings through. Simpson nowhere to operate. Gives it to Coonsey. Coonsey gets a step on wrestling and puts it up and in. Coonsey with a much needed basket for the Tetons as they try to get their offense cranked back up. Long pass over to Van Gils on the near wing. Crosses over. Kumo on the far wing now. Up to Getty. Back to Van Gils. High post to Baker. Baker back to Van Gils. Thought about it taking the shot. Up on top to Kumo. Now to Baker. Over to Getty. Looks to take off. Slicing through. Back up to Kumo. Pump fake. Back to Van Gils now. Van Gils looks to try to slice through. Forces over to Getty. 5 on the shot clock. Bounce pass underneath to Baker. Gets wrestling. And wrestling will put it up and in. And there's going to be an stoppage on the court. Coach Triplett begging for a travel call. As wrestling put the bucket back up and in. Now back to a 1-point game. Inbound play now coming for Williston State, still holding on to a precarious 1-point lead. Simpson back up the court. Gets it over to Garcia on the near wing. Waiting, gets it now to Berg. Berg to Coonsey. Coonsey looking down low. Back to Berg. Cutting through is Murtaugh. No one open from Berg. Back to Garcia. Garcia is going to cross over on Van Gils. Now a second crossover. She's going to try the middle of the paint. Underneath it'll go to Simpson. Caught underneath. She'll pull it back out. Fadeaway jumper. That's going to be no good. Coonsey with the board. She'll put it up. Got hammered, but still gets it to go. Coonsey with 2 more. 22 points for Allie. And back to a 3-point game with 4:04 left to go. Van Gils on the near wing. Cross court it'll go to Kumo. Tetons looking to see if they can lock up in their 2-3 zone. Getty gets it on the baseline to Baker. Bounce pass underneath for wrestling. Wide open, and she closes the gap back down to 1. Murtaugh pushes it up the court for the Tetons. He'll hands it off to Simpson on the wing. Simpson pulls the trigger from a straightaway 3-pointer off the mark, and it'll be a foul called on Coonsey. Sharman saw a foul as Coonsey picks up her third personal, second team foul. With 3:37 left to go, a chance for the Wildcats now to take the lead here with just over 3.5 left to go in the game. Back up the court comes Getty. Across the timeline, kicks it over to Van Gils. Van Gils with a catch and shoot 3. That'll hit off the front of the rim. No good. Baker tried to jump through the body of Berg to try to get the ball and throw it off her, but Berg did a good job sealing the ball off. Tetons now looking, desperately needing a bucket here to push it out to a full possession. Simpson on top. She'll swing it over to Garcia. Berg comes in, picks the ball up at the top of the perimeter. Looking backdoor for Murtaugh. Close the gap, and it'll be Coonsey in the paint. Kicks it out to Murtaugh. 3-pointer from the wing. Off the front of the rim. No good. Baker will save it. Loose ball on the ground. Kumo will pick it up, and she's going to get it off to Wrestling. Wrestling loses it. Has Van Gils wide open on the perimeter, but couldn't get her all the way down the court. Still a 1-point Teton lead. Wildcats with the ball. Van Gils has it on the near wing. Long cross-court pass to Kumo. Kumo bounce pass on the baseline to Baker. Good covered up that time by the Tetons. Van Gils now over to Getty. Looking underneath for Wrestling. Nothing there. Van Gils will take it for the lead. That one in and out. No good. Tipped away by Garcia. She got knocked down by Wrestling. And another 3-pointer coming from Getty. And that one's going to go in. And the Wildcats have a 2-point lead. 67-65 with 2.5 to go. Back of the court comes Kylie Simpson. She'll hand the ball off. No, he's going to fake the handoff. Peel back to the perimeter. Up to Murtaugh. Over to Garcia. Garcia. Now to Berg. Slowing things down to the Tetons. Here comes a drive by Simpson. Throws a wild one up and gets it to go. Carly Simpson is tied it back up for the Tetons. 67 apiece. 2:10 left to go. Getty pushing it back up the court for Science. He picked up by Simpson. Tetons still having to put extra attention now to wrestling. Going to seal off Garcia underneath. Gets it underneath to Baker. Going to be blocked on the pass. Kunze's going to pick it up. Gets knocked to the ground. But it'll be Murtaugh who comes away with it. Tries to muscle it through. No look pass over to Simpson. Pushes it up ahead to Berg. 1:47 left to go. Berg in transition. Mid-range jumper. Up no good. Going to be pulled down by Science. 1:42 left to go. Back comes Science in a tie game. Getty up across the timeline. Over to Van Gils. Looking underneath for wrestling. Back to Getty now. Fakes the swing. Van Gils now has it on the near wing. Back over to Kumo. In the corner to Getty. Back up to Kumo. Good ball movement by the Wildcats. Van Gils, little shake, got away with a walk. Gets off to Kumo with a three-pointer. In and out, no good. Wrestling with the rebound. She's going to put it back up and in. Maggie wrestling for two more. She has 20 points, matching her season average. Tetons down by 2. 1:07 left to go. They need a big bucket right here, right now. Kylie Simpson on the wing, a double high screen. Simpson comes around, kicks it off in the corner for Garcia. Garcia foot fake on Van Gils, gets it back to Simpson, up to Murtaugh. Murtaugh for the tie for three, off the front of the rim, no good. Long rebound goes to Berg. Berg backing down on Kumo, working her way around, takes a shot from the elbow, no good. Pulled down by wrestling. Back comes Science. They have a 2-point lead with under a minute left to go. 40 seconds left as they get across the timeline. Getty now can hold on. They can play for one shot, try to push it out to a 2-possession game. Tetons have fouls left to give, choosing not to. 15 seconds on the shot clock, 28 in the game clock. Over will go now to Kumo. They'll look down low for their big forward. And there'll be a bounce pass underneath to wrestling. She's going to be and one. Kunze with a clear as day block. That's going to be a 4-point game. Now as wrestling knocked that one down. Chance to make it a 5-point game with 18 seconds left to go. That is number 4 now on Kunze. And wrestling, who's been perfect from the line, looks to get one more. Tetons still have 3 timeouts left. Wrestling at the stripe, knocks it down, makes it a 5-point game. And there's going to be a timeout called by the Tetons with 18.9 seconds left to go. We're going to take a half-a-minute timeout. When we come back, we'll have what's left of this 18.9 seconds back in 30.
WCCU is your local credit union, which means they're a not-for-profit financial institution owned by you. WCCU has been serving Williston for many years and is proud of the difference they have made in the community. They are there when you need them, from home, agriculture, and auto loans to checking and saving accounts. If you sign up for a Kasasa checking account with WCCU, you'll get more than just free checking. You choose your checking account and get your choice of rewards like nationwide ATM refunds and a really high interest rate. You can also earn cash back on debit card purchases and earn iTunes, Google Play, and Amazon rewards. So join the herd at WCCU.org.
Mike Ruder back here for Teton basketball. 18.9 seconds left to go. Tetons trail by 5. Garcia set to get the inbound pass. Gets it to Simpson on top of the perimeter. High post to Kunze. Back to Simpson. Simpson from way downtown. Off the mark. No good. Long rebound to Kunze. Kunze back out to Simpson. Another long shot on the way. That one is good. They're going to call it a 2 on the line. Goes Simpson now with 17 points. Makes it a 3-point game with 9.4 seconds left to go. Tetons need a stop and then another 3-pointer. Simpson was about 2 inches across the 3-point line when she made the shot. It's a short timeout. We're going to keep it right here since halftime. Science has outscored Williston State 47-23 as they've now pulled out to a 3-point lead, 72-69. As the buzzer sounds, look to get back at it. Teton's going to come out. They'll need to get a quick steal or an immediate foul. They still have one foul left to give. And Teton's now getting into their full court press, seeing if they can't create some havoc. Kumo set to inbound the ball for Science. Wrestling coming to try to pick it up. Everyone covered. They're going to get into Baker. Back to Kumo. And Kumo's going to be fouled by Simpson. That'll be her fourth team foul. One more foul to give, and there's going to be a timeout called this time by Science. That's their last timeout of the game. Tetons have one left should they be able to get the steal, and Science is going to use that timeout to advance the ball past half court. So it's going to be a full timeout. We're going to take just a 30-second break. When we come back, the final 8.1 here from the Well in Williston.
Looking for reliable professional services for your business? Look no further than One Core Services. They specialize in optimizing operations, enhancing productivity, and ensuring safety across all facets of your business. Whether you need high-pressure pumps, hydrochloric acid, or bulk chemicals, we've got you covered. One Core Services tailor solutions to fit your unique needs, helping you save time and money. Ready to take your production to the next level? Call us today at 701-774-1105. One Core Services, LLC, your trusted partner for success in the oil and gas industry.
Inbound play for Science. They're getting into Kumo. Kumo is going to be grabbed by Kunze. That's going to be number 5 on Kunze, sending McKenna Kumo to the stripe. So Allison Kunze will foul out of the game. And she'll foul out of the game with 22 points. So Kunze will have to watch the remaining 6.6 seconds from the bench. Tetons now put into the game Tia Conradson. And they'll also be taking out Maggie Wrestling and bringing in Ava Boyes for a little bit quicker defense. Kumo needs to knock down 1 of 2 to make it a 2-possession game. Her first one is going to be up and good. Tetons still have a timeout. They can use it to advance the ball past the timeline. Here comes a second of 2 from Kumo. On the way, that one is going to be off the side of the iron. No good. Pulled down by Berg, and instantly the Tetons call a timeout with 5.9 seconds left to go. A 4-point game. It's a short one. We'll take a quick one as well, back in 30.
Red Rock Ford is a proud supporter of Williston State College Teton Athletics and our community. At Red Rock, we encourage you to get behind our athletes, schools, and local community. Let's support our friends and neighbors as we work together to make our city a great place to live and raise our families. And when it comes time for your next vehicle purchase, see us at Red Rock Ford, where a portion of every dollar spent goes right back into the community you know and love. That's Red Rock Ford, your hometown Ford store, proudly supporting Teton Athletics.
Mike, we're back here for Teton basketball. Tetons coming out of their final time out, trailing by 4 with 5.9 seconds left to go, seeing if they can't make a miraculous comeback here in the waning seconds of the game. They'll be inbounding from the near sideline. All shooters on the court for the Tetons. Simpson curling to pick up the ball. Steps back, three-pointer from Simpson. Off the mark, no good. And that'll be foul called on Jersey Burke. No, they're going to say out of bounds with 1.2 seconds left to go. So the Tetons will get a last look at the bucket. Simpson set to trigger from the baseline as one of the officials was out of position. So it'll be a quick shot for the Tetons, and that'll be all she wrote. Simpson looking to get it in, gets it up on top, and it's going to be Murtaugh at the buzzer, and got it to go. Taylor Murtaugh knocked down the three-pointer. But the Tetons fall 1 point shy, 73-72. And with the loss, the Tetons no longer on top of the Mondac Conference. We're going to head down to get the score sheet for this one. When we come back, we'll break down this wild one here from the Well in Williston. And then it'll be a quick turnaround. The men will be getting after it in a little over 20 minutes.
WCCU is your local credit union, which means they're a not-for-profit financial institution owned by you. WCCU has been serving Williston for many years and is proud of the difference they have made in the community. They are there when you need them, from home, agriculture, and auto loans to checking and saving accounts. If you sign up for a Casasa checking account with WCCU, you'll get more than just free checking. You choose your checking account and get your choice of rewards like nationwide ATM refunds and a really high interest rate. You can also earn cash back on debit card purchases and earn iTunes, Google Play, and Amazon rewards. So join the herd at WCCU.org.
At American State Bank and Trust Company, we want you to bank your way, whether that's on the go or at home. We make your life easier with online and mobile banking, bill pay, remote deposit, electronic payments, and more. Free, convenient, secure services, all available to you. Banking should happen on your time, wherever you are and whenever you need it. Go beyond with American State Bank and Trust Company. Stop in or visit asbt.com to enjoy a better digital banking experience. Member FDIC.
WCCU is your local credit union, which means they're a not-for-profit financial institution owned by you. WCCU has been serving Williston for many years and is proud of the difference they have made in the community. They are there when you need them, from home, agriculture, and auto loans to checking and saving accounts. If you sign up for a Casasa checking account with WCCU, you'll get more than just free checking. You choose your checking account and get your choice of rewards like nationwide ATM refunds and a really high interest rate. You can also earn cash back on debit card purchases and earn iTunes, Google Play, and Amazon rewards. So join the herd at WCCU.org.
For more than 70 years, Expanse Electrical Company has delivered market-leading electrical, power, and automation expertise. Work on a legacy of technology, quality, and craftsmanship. They are confident they have the best team in the industry. Local opportunity served. Proud member of the Williston community, Expanse completely looks to build a better future for their company, the craftsmen, and their customers. They pride themselves on having one of the most efficient teams of directly employed licensed electricians and automation engineers in the industry. Interested in hiring up a local career? Visit expanseelectrical.com/careers to learn about their openings in the North Dakota region.
Legacy. It begins the moment we were born, growing with every step as we journey through life. It lives in the relationships we build along the way and in those we love. At First International Bank and Trust, our legacy is you. In every stage of life, we walk with you, making sure you get to where you're going and protecting your legacy for generations to come. First International Bank and Trust, helping you live first. Member FDIC, Equal Housing Lender.
Looking for reliable professional services for your business? Look no further than One Core Services. They specialize in optimizing operations, enhancing productivity, and ensuring safety across all facets of your business. Whether you need high-pressure pumps, hydrochloric acid, or bulk chemicals, we've got you covered. One Core Services tailor solutions to fit your unique needs, helping you save time and money. Ready to take your production to the next level? Call us today at 701-774-1105.